Division, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at food waste in agricultural supply chain, and our guest is going to be telling us so much about this. If you look at some episode of this program, we saw when stakeholders come together in fashioning a way out to ensure that we have less of food shortages and wastages in a stakeholders meeting where the Minister of State was present. Now we're going to be taking of what impact will these wastages be to the Nigerian economy. Before we go deep into discussion and me introducing the guest on the program, quickly we'll take what food wastage literally means in a short report. Stay tuned. Food waste refers to the removal of the food supply chain of food which is still fit for human consumption. This is done either by choice or after the food is spoiled or expired due to poor stock management or neglect. It can also be defined as waste generated at any point in the food supply chain, which includes the stages of production, post-harvest, industrial processing, distribution, domestic processing, and consumption. Therefore, volumes of food waste differ between phases in the supply chain. In the food supply chain, food moves from producer to consumer via the processes of production, processing, distribution, retailing, and consumption. Thereby, food moves from farmer to consumer in a domino-like fashion. The agri-food chain encompasses the individuals or businesses involved in the agricultural production and processing of food, encompassing production, processing, storage, trading, distribution, and consumption. This waste can be split into 4 categories: byproduct food waste, which refers to the solid and liquid food byproducts created through the manufacturing or production process or agricultural practices; expired products, leftovers, bakery and packaged food waste. There are 6 models of food supply chain. Each model is chosen by a business depending on its specific needs. There is a continuous flow model which is used within high demand production as it offers inventory and raw material stability. There is also the fast chain model, efficient chain model, agile model, custom configured model, and the flexible model. Some of the ways to reduce food waste is to make a shopping list. The easiest and practical way is to make a list of things you need before going shopping. Freeze extra food. Prepare your menu, store food in the right way, and buy less of food that goes bad easily. Leftovers are food too. Please ensure that you prepare the food that you can finish or use preservatives for the leftover. And that's it on the episode. topic is a food waste in agricultural supply chain, how its impact on the Nigerian economy. Yes, to discuss this with us this week is our in-house guest, an economist who is regular to bring us to the know of happenings and in-depth analysis of topics on the program. He's no other person than Mr. Gabriel. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
We've seen federal government tried in different forums in ensuring that we don't see, the amount of food wastages we see. If you go to Benue State, for example, as you're entering, as you're moving on the way, maybe towards Jos, even if you're passing through bypass, you begin to see, if it's season of oranges, you see them in heap on the floor where you see the normal fruit and vegetable market along the road. Federal government has found that this and stakeholders have sat down to see what can be done in ensuring that this is being reduced to its various minimum. But then let's look at what the economy, of what impact is this waste to the economy.
It's a monumental loss when we allow money to waste away, because when you say food wastages, it can also be said to be money, and that's the way I see it. Benue is an example, but there are in several other places as well. If you go to Lagos, you go to Igbo market, for example, some of those products, before it gets to the main market itself, will be dumped somewhere, heaps of it, where if situation is the reverse, if the case is the reverse, could have been a lot of income to the farmers, to the marketers, and even to the economy as a whole. So the impact is a monumental loss to the economy, because a good portion of it, you will be surprised that between 25 to 30% of agricultural perishable products are lost every season because of lack of preservation and other methods to enhance the lifespan of those products. So it's a huge loss to the economy, it's a huge loss to the farming community, and even to the markets as well, as regards purchasing those products. Because one thing again you need to know is that if a farmer produces, for example, 1,000 tubers of yam, and about 250 of it is already lost due to lack of preservation, the remaining 750 will be priced or sold at a higher rate to be able to recover those losses that have been made, which could have not been the case if proper techniques are put in place for preservation or branding of those agricultural perishable products.
Okay, so what are the supply chain for agri-food?
Yes, when you look at from the farm to the market, and even to those that are going to eventually get to shelves of other places, you see that it takes critical segments. From the farmer gets the products right from his farm to the marketers. In some cases, the marketers come to the farm to buy the produce and now take it to the main market for resale. But the supply chain is fluid in the sense that the farmers deal with both the marketers that are going to sell the products directly to the end users, and it can also deal with marketers that would buy the products with the aim of improving on it. And the farmer also has a third leg, which is preserving or branding the products for exports. So these are the different supply chains that is being considered. But the first one that is indigenous to us, that is also important to the essence of farming, is getting it to the market where people can be able to buy them for existence sake, that is to feed the country, which is very, very important. That's the internal supply chain, to get it to the market, get it to the various end users at the end of the day by means of buying it from the market. The second one which is also important for the economy, is getting those that are going to use those farm products as byproducts for a finished good, to also get it to be able to manufacture those goods or manufacture those products. And the third aspect is to earn more foreign exchange for both the farmer and the country, by ensuring that those products are packaged for export.
Okay, so what are the we talked about food waste. What are the stages of this food waste aside from farm to to the open markets?
Yes, there are some perishable products that have different varying shelf life. Let's take tomatoes, for example. The shelf life of an Afri tomato, when it has been harvested, is between 3 days to a week, depending on exposure to sun and then the environment. So within this 1 week that we are talking about, these tomatoes, if they are not, if they do not get to the end users between those periods, they start losing, they start decaying, and with time they start becoming remnants that will now be sold at a cheaper price or at a loss to the farmer. So each of these perishable products have their shelf life, and it is based on those shelf life that the farmers should plan to be able to know that no product of his gets spoiled or gets perished in the process of marketing and getting it to the end users. Another aspect that we need to also know is that the farmers, knowing fully well the shelf life of these products, push some of them to the marketers at a particular rate for them not to incur losses. So those marketers also take it to the market and repackage them. When I mean repackage, for a tomato seller, for example, that has been sold a bag of or a basket of tomatoes for a certain amount, you discover that the bad ones, the decaying ones are always under, while the good ones are on top. So when he is packaging his products as well for the end users, they will be buyers, he also packages in the like manner to ensure that the very fresh ones are on top, while he mixes the not so good in the middle, and thereby robbing the eventual buyer of the benefit of buying fresh tomatoes, as an example. So that is why it is very important that farmers, knowing what this can cause, should ensure that there is an end plan for these products, knowing their shelf life. And that is why the issue of packaging, the issue of rebranding, the issue of using them for other how do I call that? Using them for other products are also put in view. For example, tomatoes that we are talking about can be produced and processed to become a tomato paste. It can also be processed as and be used for a kind of sauce for other products. So all this can be put in perspective. It can also be used for ketchup, for example, because these are part of the ingredients for ketchup. So when the farmer knows this, and people that want to maximize profitability in the sense of location of industry also knows this, then they partner with the farms in the area of products that are very how do I call it, products that large communities in a particular area produces. Then they locate these plants to be able to process, to be able to use it to make it for other uses, so that when the farmers is selling the fresh ones, the other ones will be bought probably at a cheaper rate from the farmers for onward processing. So it becomes a win-win situation whereby the farmers do not lose and the manufacturers of these other products does not lose as well. So that is the way it's expected to be. And if we have such situation in place, we will not be seeing heaps of agricultural products that have perished in our major markets, for example, or along the roads, along major roads in agrarian communities. And just like we said earlier, the government, the communities and even the farmers incur huge losses because of this kind of situation.
Okay, yes, farmers should avoid this kind of situation to avoid incurring such kind of losses. Quickly, we'll take a break while return. The program continues. Stay tuned. Waste of any sort is one thing that everybody know that it is not good, whether for business or for personal, sake. To this end, we've heard our guests talk about the diverse, the waste thing, food wastages go. Now, sir, can you tell us what impact will this be to our economy? Because we know that if, for example, FCT produces how many, let me say 5 tons of cassava, and then 3 tons is bad. It translates that that 3 tons has gone out of the expected money revenue that's supposed to come into the coffers of the government. So tell us of what impact is this, both maybe advantages or disadvantages?
Yes, it has more disadvantages when we allow this to linger for a long time. Using the example of a cassava, for example, without it being processed for other uses. For example, the cassava can be processed for use for starch companies, can be processed for use even for other edible foods and also pharmaceuticals. So the government loses a lot, just like I said earlier, in terms of revenue that could have been generated if 100% of those products are distributed to various hands and they are sold and the farmers pay the required revenue that is expected from them by the government. The farmers also loses a lot if there are no off-takers to take the perishable aspect of those products to be able to improve upon them. And also, it reduces the capacity of the farmers to expand this business. If, for example, you have produced 100% of cassava, maybe 5,000 tubers, for example, and just like we said, 5,000 metric tons, and we discovered that it's only 2,000 or 2,500 metric tons that you are able to generate revenue from. It means that instead of you expanding as a farmer, you remain where you are, or even end up producing having lower production in the next farming season. So if this situation lingers and it continues, it makes the farmers to remain where they are, or even in some situations go lower than the position they were before. And that is why the government also will not be able to receive as much revenue from those activities as it should if the farmers continue to expand and their capacities are increased. So when we have situations like that, the government, which I know the government is doing, needs to partner with the farmers and also investors in various areas that we have highlighted, in various areas of maybe these oranges that are always perishing, citing fruit juice companies close to those areas, tomatoes that are perishing, citing tomato paste companies and other things. If government partners with investors and the farmers, and these products are not do not get to the level of losses for the farmers, then the government gets or generates more revenue from both the manufacturers of these enhanced products, from the farmers, and also it improves the economy, and it also allows the farmers, knowing that it's maximizing profit, to also expand its production. And when the production is expanded, it comes with increased revenue on both sides, both for the farmers and also for the country or the government as a whole.
Okay, yes, government intervention is what we most Nigerians, especially in this part of the world, look forward to. What can farmers on their own do?
For farmers, it depends on the capacity that they have. It will be most profitable for a farmer that is probably producing oranges, for example, in large scale, to also have a fruit juice company, and that means it becomes an economies of scale, and it will be able to make enough profit on both sides. And at that time, the farmer is the sole determinant of the supply chain. When, as a farmer, you own the raw material and you also have the production plant, just like we see companies like Dangote do, for example. Dangote Sugar, for example, owns several sugarcane farm plantations all over the country. Why? So that they can be the determinant of the full length of the supply chain, in the sense that they will not be able to face disappointments if farmers that are supposed to make supplies of sugarcane, for example, fail for one reason or the other. So that is why, if a farmer also has the processing plant, have the capacity for the processing plant, the farmer will be able to control the whole logistics, will be able to take charge of the supply chain, and will be able to maximize profit at the end of the day.
Part of ideas being shared at different forums that we belong to is the fact that there is a need for these farming societies to raise up and become stronger, just like you mentioned, them coming together to meet up with maybe manufacturing companies and the rest of it.
Yes.
We saw at the ARCN that some institutions who have come up with these improved seedlings also are beginning to have manufacturing factories that come up with value addition and the rest of it. To start small, how do you think that farmers can go about this?
One thing is very, very important is the issue of collaboration. Just like we said earlier, farmers can form cooperatives. If you do not have the overall capacity to be able to have a processing plant for oranges, for example, you can come together, Orange Farmers Cooperative, pool resources together to be able to have this manufacturing fruit juice company, to be able to assess these products in a pool, putting together, and the eventual profit is now being shared across board. The other aspect is the partnership of these farmers with will-be investors. You can say, okay, as a farmer, I am willing to bring my products as my own share of the capital, while you bring your machine as your own share of the capital based on the percentage that is agreed. So when the eventual product, the end product, is now produced, the profit is now shared based on capital injection, which is also not a bad idea. So farmers have various options to be able to look into this situation, and at the end of the day have a win-win situation. The farmers can also approach the state government if the federal government is too far away, to be able to look for solutions by backing them through the local government, to be able to have this manufacturing plant and be able to ensure that, okay, this whole local government, there will be a joint venture between the local government and the state government to bring this the manufacturing machines, and the farmers in this local government doing this particular products will bring those produce there at this price agreed by all, and there will be a win-win situation for both the farmers, the local government, and even the state government at the end of the day.
Thank you so much for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
With this said, we hope that food shortages is going to be reduced to the barest minimal, as this is not contributing to the country's GDP. On that note, to wrap it up for this week, join us again, same time, same station, next week. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. I'm saying bye for now.